This episode is sponsored by OrangeQC.
What are the bad habits of like somebody makes a mistake? Like what do they tend to do?
They tend to hide it. I mean, first thing they want to do is they want to hide it or fix it.
So the opportunity that you're losing is the ability to build trust and to, own up to a simple accident. Now, what you did is you got somebody who doesn't trust you.
They don't do that on purpose. They want to hide all the complaints they make. They want to hide, oh, we forgot to take the trash out. They want to hide all that.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't work.
Instead, you wait, and now it's an excuse, and an excuse in their mind is a liability.
Then you look at yourself too, because a lot of times it's easier for owners to just blame the employee.
Owning the mistake, but attacking that mistake and building out a plan, right? I don't think a lot of people do this. I think that they don't own the mistake, number one, but if they do, they don't say, well, and this is what you can count on. And it's crazy but the amount of times that customers will bait us to blame somebody else.
Oh yeah. Sometimes it keeps you up at night, honestly, thinking about what you could have done differently to have it so your employees can succeed and ultimately you succeed.
Because really, when it comes down to it, is that it is 100% your fault. Because if the employee, you've trained them, you've shown them, they've done it, you've done everything you could, and they still don't do it, it's your fault that you haven't let them go.
They're still there.
Whether it's a missed service appointment, a specialty project that didn't go as planned, using the wrong chemical on a surface, or forgetting to lock a client's door, mistakes happen. Every business will eventually face a moment where they've made a mistake. But what truly sets you apart is how you respond to the incident and make it right. In this episode, Greg and I will talk about the right way to own the mistake, how to communicate it to your client, and most importantly, strategies on how to make it right. We will share real examples from the field and practical steps that you can take to turn a tough moment into an opportunity to build trust and satisfaction with your clients. All right, so it's just going to be that constant reminder, right? That there are
the subscribe and like and subscribe. Really, just subscribe.
And you can like all you want, but
you can like it.
It would be great if you subbed as well.
Yeah. Super easy.
So super easy. I don't know enough about YouTube to know exactly where that is.
Don't lie. This dude knows a lot about YouTube. I think it's on the bottom right.
Bottom right says subscribe.
Bottom left.
Jordan's like bottom
right.
left.
Sorry.
Yeah. So it's bottom left. It says subscribe.
Yep.
So
starts with an S.
Yeah, starts with an S. Go ahead and click on that, and we'll get some. It'll help us out with getting some more folks to be in the algorithm, which, helps us to be able to get some more content out there. So we appreciate that.
Absolutely. That'd be great.
Oh, making moves with my microphone here.
So like 30,000, we should give away a free Matchbox car.
That's it?
Of your choice. It could be Hot Wheels.
Hot Wheels.
Maybe a Lego set.
You know what? I have an idea. I like the Lego set.
I like Legos.
I like Legos.
Legos kind of cool.
It's kind of cool. So when we get to 30,000, then we're gonna do a Lego set giveaway. But how do we determine who we're gonna give it to? And Jordan, you have some ideas, right?
Yeah.
You'd have to comment, right? Like
you could do like a poll, you could do a comment, you could do forms, or you could just give it to me.
Well, stay tuned.
All right, stay tuned.
Stay tuned. So at 30,000, one of our 30,000 subscribers will get a Lego set. And I'm a little bit of a Lego nerd.
Oh, okay.
My kids are, and kind of we turned ourselves into Lego nerds. So
we're talking like Millennium Falcon level.
That's a little much, but we'll see. Those are like rare, dude. That's like
okay. I see. Like I don't know. I mean,
$1,000 for Millennium Falcon.
Porsche 911.
Yeah,
a Porsche 911.
It'll be something cool. I'll get it, and we'll say, hey, look, this is what it'll be. So
30,000.
Stay tuned in our podcast. When we're at 30,000.
30,000.
We're gonna give away a Lego set.
Right.
So if you're a Lego guy, hashtag Lego.
I'm telling you, pretty soon this is going to be the Howard Stern show. We're going to have Jordan over here with his mic on. He can have his own camera.
Yeah,
it's going to be fun.
And going to Jordan.
So what do you think, Jordan? All right. Well, today we have a really interesting topic. We're going to be going over, how to make mistakes but keep clients. Because let's face the facts, right? You're going to make a lot of them. And so there's a lot of things that come up, and I think the foundational pieces of this answer is you got to own your stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it does go back to that. I mean, if you're what do they say? You're gonna say it straight or show it crooked.
Yeah, say it straight, show it crooked. Yep.
You know, that's kind of what it is. It's like if you just say, "Look, I made a mistake, and this is what it is." There's no other conversation. But also, you have to correct it. If you make the same mistake over and over and over again, it's like, well, maybe there's something more here.
And I think that we both have, because of being in the franchising world and working with a lot of different business owners. I mean, again, we have that unique perspective, right? Where folks are, what are the bad habits of like somebody makes a mistake? Like, what do they tend to do?
They tend to hide it. I mean, first thing
Yeah.
they want to do is they want to hide it or fix it, or like you're dusting and you knock, Sarah's, picture frame off of her wall and break it. You put some tape on it. Like no one will notice. Just tape it. Cool. She'll never know. Instead of just saying, "Hey, this is what happened," because they expect it. I mean, you'd be shocked, I'm sure, by a lot of customers that will just say, "Hey, it's expected." If you don't want to, I get a lot of this after something gets broken. Is if they didn't want it broken, they shouldn't have brought it to work.
I'm always surprised by it too.
And I'm like, whoa,
yeah.
okay.
And when you're that transparent and you're like the moment that something breaks, here's a great example, right? I've had, and we're going to have a whole like little, cool little podcast talking about
Yeah,
kind of
next.
things next, but,
Stay tuned.
you know, we had a franchise owner, they hit a picture frame off of a wall and it broke. And so, what are they like? Oh, well, we were on the other side of the wall in another suite
And we heard a
we heard a
crash.
crash. And so we
Come on.
went over there and it was broken on the floor.
On the ghosties.
It was a ghost. But then when they're like, oh, well, no, we have camera footage and we can see that they knocked it off with their vacuum and it, hit the ground and it broke. And, the customer is like, all they had to do is say that it was an accident.
Yeah.
Right. Instead of trying to hide it.
Now the customer's like, this person's a liar, man. I can't
Yeah,
trust
right.
him. What else can I not trust?
So
him
the
with?
opportunity that you're losing is the ability to build trust and to, own up to a simple accident. Now, what you did is you got somebody who doesn't trust you.
Yeah.
Right.
At all.
Because you lied. Because if you're going to lie about one thing, you're probably going to lie about more than one
Yep.
thing. So,
Very true.
these are major issues. And when it comes to transparency, I mean, the larger the clients that you're going after, the more they're going to require transparency.
Yeah.
The more they're going to want you to own up to your mistakes and give them a lot of data. And that would include things like quality assurance inspections.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, so,
You're going to want to see that because those are mistakes as well. Because other companies aren't doing that. Like showing, okay, how many complaints did you have in X amount of days and what were they? And we do a lot of stuff here that, we want to talk about here, but, they don't do that on purpose. They want to hide all the complaints they make. They want to hide, oh, we forgot to take the trash out. They want to hide all that.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't work, man.
And your customers aren't stupid. I mean, they know that things happen, and really, I mean, how many of you are letting somebody come into your house and clean your house when you're not home? Right. I mean, and I'm sure there's about 50-50, but most of us, if we don't know the people who are coming in, are not going to allow that. And so what we're in essence doing with these people is we're saying, hey, we're going to come into your building. We have your alarm codes. We have your keys. And we're going to send people in that you should trust. But you don't know them and they're going to clean your building. Are you cool? And they're going to be like, oh yeah, we're cool. So the first time they feel like you lied to them, now they already felt uneasy. Now they really feel uneasy. Right.
Running a cleaning business means juggling a lot. Inspections, specialty services, keeping every site on point. That's why we use OrangeQC. It's a quality control platform that lets us track jobs, document results with photos, log chemical usage, and even send real-time reports, all from our phone. Want to see for yourself? Hit the link in the description for a 30-day free trial of OrangeQC. Thanks to OrangeQC for sponsoring this episode and for building a tool that actually works.
So a couple other things like owning up does build trust, right? Just saying, hey, this is what happened. And that's with everything. That's what leaving a door unlocked, because believe it or not, they will know who did it. They will do background, be like, "Oh, you didn't set the alarm. I know you were the first one in." Well, there was somebody that came in that did. They pick up a package, I think, and they didn't lock the door. Like, come on, man.
Well, and here's a great way. I mean, because we could go through, and we are going to go through a whole, podcast
Yeah,
about things
of
like this and things that have happened. But, these are things that have happened just recently, right? That you have someone who says something like that, the door was left unlocked or the alarm wasn't armed. And they said, oh, so and so was in the building when I left. Well, it's convenient that you're saying that now because there's a complaint that occurred. But you didn't put it into any communication at all.
You didn't go to that person and say, "You're the last one in the building."
You're the last one in the building.
wanna let
What's
you
your
know.
name? Can you I'm going to send this over to our email chain so everybody's aware. Instead, you wait, and now it's an excuse, and an excuse in their mind is a liability.
Yeah, then you have an enemy that you just built through that person that left. Like, "Oh, you gotta throw me under the bus? Okay, I got you."
And I think the other part that really is important that making mistakes is an opportunity is in the area of owning the mistake but attacking that mistake and building out a plan, right? I don't think a lot of people do this. I think that they don't own the mistake, number one, but if they do, they don't say, well, and this is what you can count on. We're going to do this and this and this, and we're going to build these protocols so that this doesn't occur again, and if it does, then there are going to be consequences, there's going to be accountability, whatever
And
it
that's
may
actually
be.
on our media site, because I did a live on it, like actually how to do that. Like, if you leave a door unlocked, what steps you do, what steps you can take, and in that scenario, like you said, well, the customer was in the building. We actually talk about that on there,
Yeah.
and there's a downloadable you guys can look at there too. So that's something that if you wanted to do that, that'd be great.
And
But
there's an amazing amount of resources available on OctaClean Media, and really,
and it gets more and more every we do a live, we always try to give them like the download
yeah.
forms or whatever it is. So
Well, and on every 8th of the month, I mean, yeah, and it's OctaClean, so yes, we're going to use 8 quite a bit. On every 8th of the month, we're bringing out new stuff. So whether that be training programs or downloadables or whatever it may
is,
be.
yeah.
So it's $29 a month. I mean, people need to jump on this thing. But some certain examples, things that have like popped up. I mean, I would say a big one is people missing service, right? So
And that one's like almost unforgivable to me.
but imagine you're a small business owner and you're listening to our podcast, watching this on YouTube, and you're like, I just kind of started out a year ago. I hired some people. I thought they were really good. They don't have, Clock Shark or some way of geo tracking where
Yeah.
people are, or the people are just kind of filling out a time card. And someone screwed up. They got in a car accident,
They didn't say
or
anything.
they got sick. They're in the ER. They didn't say anything. The next morning, somebody calls and they're like, nobody cleaned my building.
Yeah. So for you, you now have like that reactionary plan. I mean, know that you need to go out there like right then. And if it's okay with the customer, always kind of clear
Yeah.
that with them and saying, if it's okay with you, I'd like to come out and at least empty your trash and get things clean for today, and just apologize. Like, I apologize for this. And would you like me to issue you a credit? I think you'd be surprised how many people would be like, no, 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 it's fine. You don't need to issue me a credit.
Yeah.
Just come on out and handle that. If you automatically say, well, I'll issue you a credit, they'll be like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get a free meal at, the Sizzler Steakhouse, whatever it is,
Sizzler.
by my house.
There is.
I don't eat there though. Sorry,
They-
Sizzler. Nothing against you, Sizzler.
They have the salad bar.
They do.
Oh, all you can eat shrimp.
I don't know.
I need to go over to your house and get some Sizzler. I like Sizzler. And I think it's more nostalgic than anything else. Like, really, is Sizzler that good?
Have the buffet, but we're kind of on a tangent.
Okay, sorry.
Let's bring it back, people.
Sorry about that. But I was
So
just
we were
kinda
talking about
curious.
miss service. How am I the
Mi-
one
I-
telling you to bring it back? Beaver?
I don't know. Are you okay?
Wrong with me.
Did you cut your hair a little too tight today?
Did I?
Must have shaved your head a little too tight. All right. Well, yeah. So missed services for sure. I think you also have things like, let's just basic things, right? They didn't empty the trash can. They didn't do this. They didn't do that. What I hate more than anything is people making excuses.
Yeah.
Right. Because I mean, there's all kinds of little excuses like, well, your trash can didn't get emptied because we had a new guy that started last night. They don't care what your problems are. They aren't paying to hear your problems. right? What they're paying for is for you to say, got it. I'm going to send somebody down there right now. We're going to get that taken care of and we'll address the concern. Now, if they ask you like what's different, what happened, then you should be transparent. But otherwise, there's really no point in having these conversations with them because all they hear is excuse, 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 and they don't want to hear it. Right. So, you know, a big one too is like things like doors not locked, like you said, alarms not set. Um, I mean that we run into that sometimes.
And I always like if you're someone that leaves doors unlocked, I mean, there's ways to go to mentally check it. Like, okay, I'll shake the door, I'll lock it, shake it. Like, okay, it's locked, and you train that into your crews. But there's times when I have employees that are like, "I'm sorry, dude, you just can't lock doors. I don't know what it is with you."
Yeah.
But that's something like you can't train. Like everything you do, you're like, "Well, let me look, shot, lock the door." You don't think you did it? Go back and look. Do a walk around. Do a walkthrough after you're finished. And I'll still have people like, "Oh, dude, left the door unlocked again." It's like, really?
Yeah, I mean, you give them door checklists, like you're running through and like color coding doors and doing all
Yeah, the
this stuff.
same
And they
guy,
still do it.
the same guy you do it, leaving the door open is the same guy signing the checklist. It's like, well, that's effective.
You know, and I think when you live in a space where, as an owner, you're saying, I mean, we're going to be transparent and we're going to own everything that comes in. Then you start to really take responsibility for the way you're
Yeah.
training, what your systems and processes are, who is an employee you should keep, who is an employee that maybe shouldn't be there.
And then you look at yourself too, because a lot of times it's easier for owners to just blame the employee.
That happens way too
It's like,
much.
okay, well, what did I do that enabled my employee to leave the door unlocked? Or what am I doing that's enabling my employees to not clean the building very well?
Yeah.
And that's the most critical thing.
Yep.
I mean,
What is your favorite? What is that book that you like?
my Jocko book.
Yeah,
Now you're drawing
I
me-
know, I know. It's oh gosh, I want to say ultimate. It's not. It's
No.
it's
It's
okay.
not extreme accountability, is it?
hang on.
So
I've got it-
Jocko
I've got it
Willink
on
is
my- I've got
is
it
a
on my
Navy SEAL,
phone.
and of course, he writes books, and he actually has energy drinks now too.
Well, you know, hey,
Why not? Everyone
I mean,
does.
every famous person has a tequila brand, so I mean, why not?
And an energy drink.
And an energy drink. That's right. Let me see. I think I have. Oh, I need to get out of there. Gosh, see. Thank you for your patience, but this is well worth the time because
It's a
you're.
very good book. I mean, it
it's
makes
an
you really
excellent
look at
book.
like sometimes it keeps you up at night, honestly, thinking about what you could have done differently to have it so your employees can succeed and it ultimately you succeed. So
Here is the book, Extreme Ownership.
extreme ownership. Should have got that.
So yeah, extreme ownership. So this is a fantastic book, and something that I would say that when you're looking at transparency, I mean, the reason why people are not going to be transparent about things is because of what?
They don't want to take ownership of what someone else did.
Well, and or they're afraid that if they do own it and they don't, say, hey, if they just like avoid it and say, well, let's just wait and wait and wait, that it will just go away, and
Yeah.
they don't have to face the potential consequences. Where it's so often it's just face the music, figure it out, and own whatever the situation is. Take full responsibility for your employees and whatever happened in that building. And it's crazy but the amount of times that customers will bait us to blame somebody else.
Oh yeah.
They're like, well, it can't be you. It must be your employee. I mean, what are they not getting? And then when we circle back and I'm like, this is 100% on me. Right. I mean, if it's a
It
problem,
really stops the conversation. They're
it-
like, oh,
absolutely.
okay,
Absolutely. And,
okay.
and even if you say that and then you're in your like gut, you're like, but it's not my fault. That's where growth comes, because it really, when it comes down to it, is that it is 100% your fault, because if the employee, you've trained them, you've shown them, they've done it, you've done everything you could and they still don't do it. It's your fault that you haven't let
That
them
they're
go.
still there. Yeah.
Yeah. It's your fault that you haven't let them go. Right. And and what's great about this extreme ownership book is that the framework that they use for it is around Navy SEALs training, right? And
Well, it's life and death.
and
I mean,
teams.
it's easier for people to look at it and be like, okay, if you mess up, somebody dies. Okay, well, yeah, that kind of that needs to be the attitude that you have when it deals with that. But it's even, I'm a vet, and that's very, very rare in the military that any leader has that there. They're always ready to throw somebody else under the bus and say that's
Yeah.
their problem.
Yeah.
That guy just dumb, whatever it is. And that's where we're at on our side is anything that we do to train people, you need to, do you understand it? Do you understand what I'm trying to do for you? And really then you won't, I know this is about mistakes, but a lot of times that is a mistake that we make as entrepreneurs, business owners, people that create training, people that hold people accountable. It's very easy for me to be like, you know what? One of my guys went out, didn't do a very good job training a franchisee. That's not my problem. It's that guy's.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you know what I do? Bring your ass out there and clean it for 20 hours, be soaking wet and nasty, and your back hurts for 2 days. That's a lesson I have to teach myself.
Yeah.
And why? Well, because I picked the wrong person to do it. And then I fixed that problem.
True stories, by the way.
So,
True stories.
that's exactly what it is, where it's very easy for me to like, well, you know what? That customer is just difficult. You know what? We don't clean kitchens. Like, you
Yeah.
know what? That ain't it's not an excuse.
These are the things that, and I know that, the topic is around being transparent, doing all that kind of stuff, but it really comes down to what's the culture, right? Like, who are you as a leader? What are you going to do? And if you feel like you need to hide things, if you feel like, you want to blame people, you need to take a look in the mirror.
Yeah. You may not want to be in any business.
Especially the service business, because I mean, some of the best service experiences that I've had in my life have been at times when people have done the wrong
Yeah.
thing, right? I mean, it's the the Nordstrom's things or the high-end hotels or nice restaurants and things like that, where they're like, yes, sir, we own it. This could be better. We'll take care of it. And they do it with elegance. They do it.
And our industry is even more difficult because you could say that we have an invisible product. For us, it's very visible. It's clean. It's dirty.
Yeah.
But that's not our product. Our product is a relationship, a long-term commitment to a building owner or a company that we're going to be partners in maintaining their facility and long-term partners on what should I do with this carpet? What should I do with this tile? That's our commitment.
Yeah.
It's not just like, oh, because anyone can get a mop bucket and a wringer and a vacuum. And if you're going to be that person, you're a commodity then. You're just, 10 cents cheaper. That's fine. I'll take this guy. But to create a service, and that's different, right? This is now a service where it has a relationship with someone's coming in and servicing your building, not just cleaning your building. They're also your partner in everything that you do as a facility, whether it be healthcare or no matter what, and I go into a lot of customers and I have an attitude where, I work for you.
Yeah. We're partnered up.
I am your consultant. And what does that do? It turns into people calling me at night. Hey, Greg, this is the deal. I got a flood over here. I don't even know what to do. What do you think we should do?
Yep.
And I don't have people over there. I'm not making money out of that, but it's like when they're going to call you.
Well, and it's we always tell folks, right? We don't the value that we provide is definitely, yes, in cleaning buildings, but it's in partnership.
Yeah.
That's what we really are creating value in, is that you can count on us. So that if you need us to be out there, we're going to take care of things. It's going to be, you don't have to worry about making excuses for us. We'll do that ourselves. There's going to be a lot of things that we're going to do for you so that you don't have to do it. And
if we screw up, we're going to take accountability and we're going to do everything we can to fix it.
Exactly.
Attention cleaning business owners. Are you ready to take your business to the next level? Introducing the OctaClean Media Community, your ultimate resource for growth, education, and connection. With our memberships, you gain exclusive access to a library of expert-led training, live group coaching sessions, and even one-on-one consulting with industry leaders. The benefits include community discussions, share your advice, and get answers directly from Matt, Greg, and myself. Coaching, transform your prospecting, bidding, operations, and marketing strategies with group coaching and one-on-one consulting options. 10-day challenges, boost your leads and confidence in less than 2 weeks. Don't miss out on the opportunity to connect with like-minded professionals who understand your journey. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, the OctaClean Media community is here to guide you every step of the way. Visit OctaCleanMedia.com to join today and unlock your cleaning business's true potential.
So, as much as this was more of a, conversation about, what you would do wrong and what do you do now. I think that the main thing is as business owners and leaders, we got to own our stuff and we got to move, ourselves in a direction where we're going to take responsibility for everything.
And if you don't have the attitude in this industry where, you're at Disneyland with the family and something happens and you can drop everything and be like, "Hey, sorry, got to go," then you're probably not in the right industry.
No, I agree. And I mean, look, there's been instances, where we've had customers that we've owned big issues and they've become, some of our best customers. And that stuff happens. I mean, I remember vividly a time when you and I were in Arizona, early days of Arizona. And you got a phone call from one of our primary or our main customers, and they said, "Hey, we have an issue. We have your people on camera throwing HIPAA stuff away. This is going to be a major fine, and this needs to be dealt with." And we both stood in that Airbnb together, and we're like, "This is on us. We got to do what we need to do." And we told the client, like, they're like, "Well, what are you gonna do?" And we're like, "Whatever it takes to make sure that you guys are okay." And from that conversation, I mean, even when we go through HIPAA training, still they
Yeah.
still reference this incident, and they're like, "Your employees back on this date and this day." I mean, and we're like, "Yeah, we own that." And we're being used as an example of what not to do, but they still are they're raving fans of what we do and how we do things because we didn't make excuses. We didn't say, "God, those employees knew better," and we trained them, and we were just like, "Okay, we got
That's
it.
what we're gonna do.
Or
Yeah.
this is what we're gonna do. Is how we're gonna take care of it."
We brought our plan to them, didn't wait for them to tell us what to do.
Exactly. And so and everyone got better from it.
Yep.
So could it have gone a different way? Absolutely. It could have gone a different way. They had every right to say, "You guys don't have the systems in place to be able to control this. Why not?" And we don't want to tolerate it, but they didn't do that. We owned it 100% and said, "We got it." We literally were like, "Let's go and get on." We got in the car and came back,
Yep. Took care of it.
and took care of what needed to be taken care of. So, all right. So let's go into, let's see. I think
We
we've
talked about how to
I think
turn mistakes into opportunities.
I think we've kind of killed that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and we shared a lot of stories. So I mean, and not that I'm trying to push through a podcast because I know how much people love seeing you and your new haircut.
It's the same every day.
Is it the same?
No, sometimes it'll grow out.
Will grow out. Yeah.
You don't wanna see that.
I'm not having a hair
You don't
day.
want to see that.
I'm not having a hair day today. I do want to. I mean, you want to share a fun story today? And can you think of any?
Fun story. Let's see.
How about a Keenan story?
So I have I can definitely share some Keenan stories.
Give me a Keenan story.
Jeez.
You got to give them some context of who Keenan is, though, because
All right, yeah, so-
eventually Keenan's going to walk into this room when we're filming
and just start taking out trash.
and start taking out trash or vacuuming.
Keenan is my warehouse manager, but he is also my son, which is, it can be challenging at times. He is, he's neurodivergent. He has autism, but he's
Yep.
very high functioning. And Keenan he'll have a conversation with you, but it's not two-sided. It's almost like a lecture.
Yes.
So if you try to talk back, it's just forever. So early on, I knew this early on, and he was probably, at that point, he really didn't work for me, but he was working, in high school. And we had to bring a carpet truck to Las Vegas to get fixed, which is from about 5 hours from us, right?
Yeah.
Let's say
If you drive
in a
like-
carpet truck,
in a carpet truck, yeah.
So a carpet truck's a truck mount carpet extractor. And I had a brand new employee at the time, and we were bringing the OctaClean truck out there with logoed octopus on the side, the cartoon logo. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to follow them. And it was me and Keenan, and I forget who else was in the car with me. And the new employee's like, I'm going to have Keenan ride with you. So I knew this.
Oh, no.
We get to Baker, and I look at the employee, and he's like, "Oh my God." I'm like, "What, dude?" It's like, I don't even think the guy breathes.
He just talks the whole
I
time.
was like, there's times when I just wanted to just be like, really? And I was like, sorry, man. And then I think the guy's name was Edward, he's a big guy. And I was like, sorry, we're almost there. And then we get to Vegas and he's like, I am not riding back with that kid. And I was like, well, hey, man, you passed the test. And that kid ended up working for us for years and years after that. But he would never ride with Keenan again.
Yeah. So when the day comes where Keenan walks in, because
He actually just did it.
he just did. Like we were just getting ready to film, and he just puts his head in the door, and like
Like, hey.
we could have easily been on camera, and he would have just walked right in. I mean,
We've had meetings where there's people in the conference room, like 10 people. And our conference room is glass doors, right?
you
It's
can
all
see
glass
right in.
front. You can see right in. You can
Right
see
in.
there's 10 people. And he'll open the door with a rolling trash can. Hey, I'm just taking out the trash. Be like, yeah, great. We had like one of our,
And he's like, we're
Loma Linda University's in here, but take the trash.
yeah. It's like, okay, dude, whatever. I
You
mean,
got this.
it's so Keenan will be an addition to the podcast at some point. It's yeah. So
That
anyway,
would be hilarious.
all right. So Greg, you want to jump into some of these?
Yeah, let's
some
do
of these
some
questions.
question and answer from Motivating Minds 07.
All right, let's go.
When I go through my walkthroughs, how would I submit my proposal? Is it a template? Do I have
Do I
to have
to
insurance?
Oh, okay.
You can reference episode 22 of our podcast because we talk a lot about that in episode 22. And then also, not to toot Matt's horn all the time, but as far as like janitorial selling in general, there's probably nothing better to do than ask Matt. Go on our OctaClean media site. There is a bunch of sales like tutorials, and there's a kit you can download. There's
There's lots
a
of
challenge that you can do where you're going
Yeah.
out and prospecting.
Yep.
So that's where I would say, I mean, for us, a quick answer is, wow, that's a lot to unwrap.
Well, and I would say, when I go on walkthroughs, how would I submit it? So
Walkthroughs and proposals are two different things.
when you go on a walkthrough, the purpose of a walkthrough is to go there and determine what their needs are, right? And really what their pain is. And then once you determine they have pain, then you're going to do measuring, and you get all of that data, and then you head back to the office and you determine pricing. And once you have pricing, you have to have a form, some sort of template that you're going to send out that's going to be basic, simple, but clear, right? Because those people that you're sending it to are likely going to have to go to 2 or 3 other people to make a decision. So if you make it too big, too much, they're going to look at it. They're never going to send it to anybody. And most of the stuff that you're going to put together in some big format is going to just be lost anyway. They're just going to go to the
Yeah.
proposal and look at it. People don't buy proposals. People buy from people that are like them, not people that they like. So these are a lot of, like Greg said, there's a lot to unravel with this question.
I would
Yeah.
say just get into
Just get into OctaClean Media, start diving into that stuff, ask a lot of questions. I mean,
get very good at getting the invite in. I would say start there
for
first
sure.
before you need to worry about a proposal.
Yeah,
Get a
you
bunch
need-
of different
yeah.
invites, start practicing, and get a bunch of no's.
a bunch of no's.
And then you'll be good.
And then as far as having insurance, yes. I mean, you have to have,
You definitely have to have
you have to have
insurance.
liability insurance and a surety bond. You need to
Probably
have
some car insurance. Because
got
what if you run into someone?
commercial auto.
That's totally off the cuff.
And then you're going to have to have workers' compensation insurance. So, and there's, trust me, if you're looking for other insurance policies to buy for your business, there's more.
Yeah. Just be careful, man.
EPLI, you've got, everything under the sun that you could possibly buy. You don't have to have everything. And if you go to an insurance broker and you say, hey, I just started a janitorial company, what insurance should I have? Chances are very good you're going to end up with a laundry list of things that you don't have to have. But
Yep.
liability and surety bond is an absolute. And then, of course, commercial auto and work comp, you must have. So, all right. So Travis Thurman, I was one of those guys that didn't have contracts and didn't realize the importance of one until I joined the OctaClean Media membership. Rock on. My thoughts were, if I'm not doing a good job, why keep me? But now I know better.
Yeah. You got to have legalities, man.
That being said, how do I go to my existing customers and tell them I'm going into contracts now?
That's a good question.
That's a really great question.
Well,
Good.
I mean, here's the thing. you already have what is called legally is a quasi contract. You're doing services and they're paying you.
Yep.
You know, this is how I would do it, and then I'll let Matt answer.
Mhm.
I would go to this customer and say, I'm Travis from Travis's whatever
Cleaning services.
Thurman. That's the guy from the wooden pickle from Bad Santa, the kid with the wooden pickle. What's his last name?
Thurman. Travis, I'm sorry. But I can't take this guy anywhere.
Well, I love you, Travis. I'll send you a T-shirt or something.
It might be a wooden pickle.
Might be a wooden pickle. No, but what I would first go to them and say, you know what? Since we've been working together, it's brought to my attention that in order for my insurance to cover you, you're going to need to sign a contract.
Yep, you can do that.
Because that's not a lie. If you have a general liability policy and you leave all the doors unlocked and someone comes in and steals all their stuff, they go after you, be like, you don't have a contract. And we've had to deal with that before.
We have.
And they're like, show me your contract. And if we didn't have a contract to prove it, they'd be like, sorry, you're not even on a contract with them.
And with this,
you shouldn't have been there.
Yeah, with this insurance company, they were even saying, like, is it current? Right.
Yeah.
So,
and were they supposed to be there on the day of this incident?
Yes. Were they supposed to be there? Were they supposed to be there at those hours?
That's where it needs to start, because legalities, they're going to be like, oh, I better sign.
No, for sure. I think that's actually a really good approach. My approach would have also, you could also go in and say, look, when we first started out, I was a smaller company, didn't understand the importance of having agreements. But it protects us both. It essentially is going to give us the rules of the game for both sides. So if you wanted to cancel, what that would look like. If I wanted to cancel, what that would look like. What the pricing is, what the terms of the pricing are. So this is where we're headed, right? So if you could use both. Like one is like mine, let's say it could be the starting point, and then yours is like, and by the way,
and additionally,
yeah, and so it's a requirement.
I really need you to do this because, in order for me to service your building, I need to have you on there, because there's a lot more to it, Thurman, than just Travis. So.
Travis, I think one of the things that Travis said that is really important, and for those of you who are still listening, because I get to see the analytics, and so does Greg on podcasts, and typically around this point, people are like, I'm done with these dudes.
Come on, man.
I don't know why. Because like, this is the best part of this thing. Like we get to have a conversation.
Anyway,
Anyway,
add them in, like add the questions in the middle. Be like
But,
a bunch of questions and mix them up.
but
and
what
we're
I-
going to take a question from the viewers.
yes, I know.
We've got
But
Matt in
We're gonna have Jordan speak up.
Saskatchewan.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Anyway.
Hey everyone, we've got something awesome for you today. We're giving away a free 1-year membership to the OctaClean Media community. That's right, 12 months of full access to all of our premium tools, templates, courses, coaching, and more. Whether you're just starting your cleaning business or scaling it to the next level, this community was built to support you. Here's how to enter. Head to the comments and let us know what stage you're in with your business. Just starting, under 500,000 or over 1 million, whatever it is, and what your biggest hurdle is right now. We'll pick one lucky winner and announce it on our upcoming episode. And hey, while you're here, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, because when we hit 30,000 subscribers, we're launching our big Lego giveaway. Yep, Legos, because who doesn't love Legos? So help us get there. Hit that follow button and share this with someone in the industry who could use a little support, a little community, and maybe some Legos. Good luck.
So, what I was going to say is that what Travis just said here is like, he has an OctaClean member, media membership. It's not it's what you don't know that you don't know. Right. And so he got on there, he's looking, and you have all these other companies, these business leaders that, own janitorial companies that are saying, oh, you need a contract.
Yeah.
And then somebody's like, well, I don't have a contract. I didn't even know I needed a contract. What kind of chemicals are you using? Well, I'm using this kind of chemical. And we assume that everybody knows this stuff, but people don't. But they don't. So, what you're going to get from OctaClean Media membership is getting to know the things you don't know that you don't know. Absolutely.
Really, that's what it is. A lot of people.
I love that part.
There's always that, oh, there's no such thing as a stupid question. And there's the guy in the back like, yeah, there is, because I have a question. And they won't answer it. They won't ask it. They'll be like, no one's going to answer that. They're like, I thought the same thing.
The people at the front of the room that are usually saying there's no such thing as a stupid question are the ones who have lame presentations that nobody. Anyway, I have my own feelings on that because if you're whatever, but there are no stupid questions.
Matt does not like lame presentations.
No,
So you better have some PowerPoint with video.
I hate PowerPoint, but Canva is fine. But what I would say is that, a peer group creates the environment where people feel safe. The culture that we have within OctaClean Media is one of support and one of growth. And that's what really matters to me. And that's where I think that people can be vulnerable and can trust the answers.
Yep.
Right. And so, it's a cool place for folks to live. But anyway, this was a really good pod. I think, people, if they're still around, they're going to love this outro, which is exactly like all the other ones.
It's it's word by word.
Word for word. You're going to love it.
If you're watching on YouTube. No.
So we want to thank everyone for watching or listening to this episode of the OctaClean podcast. And if you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Remember, it's to the left, right? Okay, to the left. Please leave comments with the topics that you want to discuss next time. And if you're listening, don't forget to rate and review the podcast. And we will see you next time. Boom.